But absolutely. What was it like when you were out there? What was it like? You were talking to the fellow who was out there, I guess a few blocks away from where Obama was at on private property with a handgun strapped to his hip, to his thigh, and the Water the Tree of Liberty quote from Thomas Jefferson.
I was in the thick of the protesting area for a good half hour, 40 minutes, I don't know, at least a half an hour. And many of the state police, the local police, they had walked past me numerous times, countless times already. I'm there holding my sign, and then we see them moving through the crowd, looking down. And someone said to me, "Oh, they're checking people's hands." And of course, I knew at that moment that no, they're looking for me. So I just waited there with my sign. And the gentleman who came up to me, Lieutenant McDonald, was very cordial, extremely polite. I saw someone say on one of the comments that, if a cop sees someone with a gun at something like this, they don't just walk up and say hi. Well, that's exactly what happened. He walked up, he introduced himself. He said, would you mind stepping off to the side and speaking with me? I did. We have video of the entire encounter from the time he walked up to the end of it. Very cordial, very polite. I can't.
Is that posted yet? I'd like to play that here because we're also doing a TV show right now.
It is nowhere online as of right now.
We need to get that up on YouTube. That is in.
We were working on that. We've been working on it.
Well, good. Can't wait to see that.
Actually, there were several cameras on scene. So
good. Is there a website that we should look for it to surface on?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, on YouTube, what are you going to call the video? Patriot.
Wow. What do you suggest?
No, I'm just thinking because I want to post it on InfoWars and Prison Planet as soon as it comes up, William. Now,
well, I'll tell you, as soon as we get it taken care of, you'll be the first to know.
Okay, well, you're awesome.
I'll send you an update.
You bet. Well, I always talk about how we've got to save the gun culture by exercising it openly. Because, I mean, it's gotten to the point in Texas where a carpet cleaner comes to your house and sees a gun case and calls the cops. Because they live in TV land, and they think because everything's based in New York and Chicago on these dramas that those cop shows are real. The general public thinks those actors are real people. I mean, the public's like literally under mind control. And so they come to your house and think your guns are illegal. So what you're doing is invaluable. But what was it like once the national media contacted you? Were you like, how did you do that? I mean, Chris Matthews didn't know what to do. The fact that we're not cowed, that you're not cowed, that people are breaking their spell was just so, and that you weren't apologetic to him, was just devastating.
Well, the way it went down, unremorseful. I think that's the way I'm labeled on the Arianna Huffington site. Amazingly enough. What happened is he went ahead and asked me to, if I was aware of the federal law, 1,000 feet from a school. I said that I was, that there were exceptions to that I was an exception to that, and he called it in. He said basically that that doesn't matter, that because it's a school, is that they can ask me to leave, and if I refuse to leave, then I would be arrested. In fact, for trespassing.
So the cop said this to you?
He did. Once again, he very polite. He was calling in, checking back with whoever was in charge there. And
but you can't have a slave with a gun near the emperor. Okay.
Well, he did say we're going to have to move you 1,000 feet, and this is where things just got really amazing, because I said, where is the 1,000-foot line? And he didn't know, so he got on the phone and started trying to find out. Meanwhile, there's been such a ruckus that these news agencies are starting to come up and talk to me. So actually, it took him about 10 to 12 minutes to get an answer back. Meanwhile, I'm conducting interviews with the Boston Globe, the New York Post. I mean, they're coming up right there. And so he comes back, and he says, well, we're going to ask you to move down to the end of the block, past the barricade. And I said, well, that's more than 1,000 feet. And he's like, well, I don't really know where the 1,000 feet is, but that's what we're going to ask you to do. And he said, I can't even tell you if I would arrest you if you refuse to do that, because, you know, he was clearly not wanting to arrest me, and he wasn't going to do so unless ordered to by higher ups. Is the impression that I was getting. So at this point, I had to make a judgment call, and I was undecided as to what the right thing to do here was. At that time, he got a call on his cell phone, and who exactly it was, I'm not 100%. I believe that it was the police chief who came through and said that apparently right maybe 30 feet from where I was currently standing when this whole incident started, that there was a church, and that church was private property, and therefore I would be all right there. So instead of pushing the 1,000-foot permit issue, I just moved over, and that's where I stood through the rest of the event.
Well, the issue here is we've been trained by the police that we can't have our rifles in our cars. There's no law. They'll just beat you in the head with a club and find something to take you to prison for. We have to teach them that's illegal and criminal. Even in Texas, we've been castrated. You obviously haven't been in Vermont, Arizona, and New Hampshire, and a few areas of Colorado. I commend you. It's just amazing. We should start a national organization, somebody should, for having these events in numbers. I know the Black Panthers, and I support what they did in Houston, marched armed, because this is our right of free humans. And if we allow them through the common law to restrict us, practice is a large part of the law, and it becomes the common law. Go ahead.
Exactly, and you're absolutely right. And I lived in Arizona. I came from Arizona, and I moved to New Hampshire as part of the Free State Project to work to achieve liberty in our lifetime. And New Hampshire's not Arizona's not a half bad state when it comes to gun laws, right? But they started doing they were one of the first states to go with the real ID. We had Governor Napolitano, and I saw what was happening in New Hampshire, and I said, you know, that's the last bastion of freedom. This is where the nanny staters don't want to be, right?
We have to
don't want to be babysit. This is the state that has no state income tax. It's the last state that has no seatbelt laws. It has no mandatory insurance. I mean, there's so many things that the live free or die state, the spirit of the locals, they live that way.
Yeah, we have to make it the custom again. We have to practice and exercise these freedoms, or they atrophy and die, to the point of now you got to hide your guns with repair people in Texas because they think they're illegal and they want a bounty. The billboards everywhere say report illegal guns, show a picture of a revolver. The moron public doesn't know that. And so thank God for you. Millions of people yesterday all over international TV learned that, wait, you're allowed to have a gun? And so maybe when I have an exterminator in my house, he won't go call the police on me. I just saw the headline coming out of England where apparently I am labeled a gunman. And interestingly, in some of the articles that I've read, I'm labeled a loner. So I've been labeled a loner and a gunman, but so far not a lone gunman. So we'll see if that maybe you fire magic bullets that can shoot through 2 or 3 people through a bunch of bones and metal and not be damaged. Maybe you're like the Lucky Charms leprechaun that you hop around like the Fighting Irish with gold coins shooting out of your mouth. Stay there, Mr. Kostric. I want to get a few final comments from you. Maybe have you up for a full hour in the near future. You're a very interesting person, and New Hampshire sounds like a better and better place to live.